For my next anime review, I am doing the series Tokopi's Original Sin. This anime is done by Studio Inuyasha, and this anime is rated TVMA. All right, now let's get on to talking about the first episode of Tokopi's Original Sin. I am going to go ahead and put a content warning and a heavy spoiler warning for this first episode of Tokopi's Original Sin. I normally don't like spoiling a new anime like this, but I have to talk about what happens in this first episode. This episode starts off with a content warning. There's very few anime that I've watched that have been mature enough to where they require a content. Most content warnings, in my personal opinion, aren't really needed, but in this case, yeah, Tokopi's Original Sin needed a content warning, because when that came on screen, I was taken aback because I normally don't see content warnings on anime. Once I got through this first episode, I came to a conclusion, yeah, this series needed a content warning. This episode starts off with Suzuka-chan finding and meeting a little cute octopus alien named Takopi. Takopi asks if Suzuka has any food, so Suzuka gives him some bread, feeds him. After every day from school, Takopi and Suzuka hang out and visit. Takopi is constantly trying to make Suzuka smile, and a few days after hanging out, Takopi pulls out a camera, a happy camera, I believe is what he called it, or happiness camera. He takes a picture of him and Suzuka, and he is about to explain to her the special function of this camera. The camera pops out the picture, and he's about to explain the rest until Suzuka has to go buy a new writing board. And a few days later, with them hanging out after school, you can see that you can visibly see that Suzuka is getting bullied. We don't really know who, other than one character that Suzuka is afraid of, and her name is Marina. And then about 6 or 7 days after their first meeting, Takopi follows Suzuka home, where they meet where Suzuka introduced Takopi to her dog Chappie. Chappie was left to her by her father before he left. It's hinted at that Suzuka's father passed away at some point, and she states that her mother is basically escorted, and anyone who knows what the term escorting means is Suzuka's mother is basically a prostitute. After Takopi and Suzuka part ways for the night, the next scene when Suzuka visits Takopi, you can see that Suzuka is badly beaten, bruises all over, footprints where someone was stepping and kicking her, and she is holding Chappie's collar. Chappie was the only thing that was keeping her happy and sane, and it's hinted very strongly that the bullies essentially most likely killed Chappie. And to try to cheer Suzuka up, Takopi thinks that just her and a friend are fighting badly. Takopi is kind of not getting all the very strong hints of what's actually going on, and Takopi tries to give Suzuka a ribbon, a friendship ribbon that allows people to actually mend friendships and actually work things out. And the ribbon extends quite a long ways. At the back of my mind during this scene, I am basically thinking, do not give her this. I have a bad feeling. Do not give her the ribbon. And Suzuka, for the first time, actually takes one of Takopi's gadgets. Now, granted, the the one rule that Tokopi is supposed to abide by. He's not supposed to let anyone use any of the gadgets without him being there to supervise it. Anyway, he goes against his better judgment and goes again and breaks that one rule and gives Suzuka the ribbon and lets her leave with it. A few minutes and a couple scenes later, Tokopi is worried that he hasn't seen Suzuka for a while, and so he goes to her house to check on her. And the next scene is by far one of the most haunting scenes in any anime I've ever seen. This tops that scene in Fullmetal Alchemist with the dog. If anyone's seen Fullmetal Alchemist, you know what I'm talking about. This scene is on the level. No, actually, I would say it surpasses that. The scene, as Tokopi enters into Suzuka's house, he finds that Suzuka hanged herself. Her body, she hanged herself with the ribbon that Tokopi gave her. Tokopi doesn't realize she's dead, so he tugs and nudges her leg, and that causes the ribbon to release from where she tied it, and her dead body falls to the floor limp, and Tokopi realizes she committed suicide, and he is halfway freaking out, and he is scared. So he is now blaming himself because he thinks this happened because he broke the one rule that he wasn't supposed to do. So he goes back to the place where Suzuka and him first met, and he gets his camera and the picture he took days earlier. And it turns out that this camera, when you take a picture at a certain point in time and you put the picture back into the camera, you can turn back time to that singular point where the picture was taken. So Tokopi reverses time, and it goes back to before Suzuka commits suicide. So the rest of the episode is Tokopi goes every day with Suzuka with school, and Tokopi is observing, and we do come to find out through several scenes that Marina is the one that is heavily bullying Suzuka. And through several days of Tokopi helping Suzuka with her homework, getting her out of situations, basically just making her day better and trying to actually legitimately help her out. He keeps reversing time in giving her answers, taking care of stuff when she can't eat her lunch fully. He helps her find her homework books, and he helps her find her backpack. All these things get taken and getting tossed everywhere, and then we get to the point where Marina is getting tired of it. She wants to talk with Suzuka somewhere secret, so around the back shed of the school. Of course, Suzuka, knowing Marina, she is scared to death of her for good reason. Tokopi then to try to calm Suzuka, uses one of his gadgets, a type of phone-looking device, where he takes a strand of Suzuka's hair, basically is able to turn himself in and makes himself look like Suzuka. So, in place of Suzuka, Tokopi goes and tries to talk things out with Marina. And things do not go Tokopi's way at all. We come to find out that Marina is extremely violent, and she is the one that beat and stepped on and most likely killed Chappie in the earlier scene. And Chappie has to rewind time because Marina beat him up badly enough, so he rewinds time, tries to fix everything, and when it comes to the time again to where Marina was beating up Tokopi did not take Suzuka's place this time. When the real Suzuka goes to actually talk with Marina, in panic, he knows what's going to happen if he doesn't do something, so he changes back again into Suzuka and gets a teacher to actually rescue Suzuka. So Suzuka was able to avoid any major injuries, only a bruised cheek. So Suzuka gets bandaged up, and After school, him and Tokopi and Suzuka are back at the place where they first met, and Suzuka is wondering and asking Chappie, "You're helping me, giving me all these things." She essentially thanks him for his help. They continue to hang out afterward, and then we cut to a scene with Marina, and we come to find out that Marina's dad is having an affair with Suzuka's mother. And because of that, it's become hell at Marina's home. And Marina's mother is getting delirious and I'm guessing violent with Marina at some points. And Marina is essentially blaming Suzuka and taking all of her anger and hatred out on Suzuka because of what her father is doing. This first episode was fantastic. I was not expecting this to be this good of an opening of Tokopi's Original Sin. I will say, if you can stomach the themes and what this show is doing, I think you'll enjoy this show. And my score for the first episode of Tokopi's Original Sin is a 9 out of 10. This first episode is absolutely fantastic. The score is fantastic. Same with the opening and ending themes. The pacing is fantastic. It does not feel like it's close to an hour long. It ends just at the right time for the first episode, and it sets everything up that we need to know right off the gate. The studio did a fantastic job with this opening, and I also got to give some props to the animation, because this show looks absolutely gorgeous. It's got a really unique art style to it. Anyway, I want to thank you for watching my review of the first episode of Tokopi's Original Sin. If you enjoyed this video, I want to thank you so much for watching, and please don't forget to leave a comment down below, and as well, don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed it, of course. And I hope you have a blessed rest of the week. This has been Ryder. I'm out.